That's just not going to work. Welcome to Truck Talk. I'm Adam, and here I am in the truck again. If you guys are liking these episodes, make sure you're giving them a like, follow, post them here on Facebook and YouTube. So, that's not going to work. I hear that all the time. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what the industry is. We talk about construction stuff. There's just constantly... There's always an excuse, it seems, on a lot of projects over the years that I've worked on, and then again, different businesses and stuff I've worked on, and real estate investing projects. There's just seems to always be, and I understand it. We live in a, as you say, we just live in a world of excuses, where it's easy to say we can't do it, because there's work when you say we can do it, but no matter what the issue is, there's always a solution for the problem. It's as simple as, your phone's not working, you look online. Now we've got ChatGPT and AI stuff. You can ask, hey, why is this happening? And there's usually somebody somewhere that has had the same problem as you have. Same thing, you're building a building. There's usually a solution out there. There's usually someone somewhere that has something. And if they don't, that's a perfect opportunity for you to invent something and come up with a solution for it. So we talk about that mentality and the mindset that you have to have in. It doesn't matter if it's a construction company, if it's any type of business, you have to have a winning attitude and not being able to say can't. I like the video of Steve Jobs years ago. And he pulls out an envelope and he says, one day I'm going to make a laptop that fits inside this envelope. He's like, we can't do it yet, but we're working on it. So at least he said, we can't do it yet, but we're working on it. Same thing, you're building a building, you got to get somewhere. A lot of times there's a great quote. It's like, I haven't done it yet. You just have to learn how to do it, or a lot of times it does come down to money. Sometimes, right? We can always do stuff depending on money, right? Like if you got to invent something or create something, you say, how do you get something up to a high area? Well, if you literally can't get up there by hand or by foot or, using a lift, then maybe you got to bring in a crane, right? So how do we reach that? Maybe we got a bigger crane. What's the planning for that? So this goes back to talking about planning ahead and scheduling out your projects, your life, your business, knowing where the gaps are going to be over time, so that you can plan ahead of those. There's one job I worked on a long time ago. It was a factory job I was working in, and they needed a crane to reach the middle of their factory, so they had to rent that crane 6 months in advance, knowing when they were going to do, right? So on top of that, not only do you have to rent the crane 6 months in advance, but you need to make sure that your rooftop units were going to be there and your contractors were going to be available at that time, and all the prep work and your factory shut down, all that stuff has to happen. It all has to be planned. It all has to be scheduled out for when that crane's going to show up to reach there. And then you can look at other options too. If you can't wait for that crane or you don't want to wait for that crane, helicopter. Is there different ways that it can be assembled on site and come in pieces? So lots of different ways out there. So to just say we can't do that, just to say it doesn't work, you really got to do a little bit more deep diving into there, do a little bit more digging, utilize the tools. This is a perfect thing, like I said, where something like AI, people can say all they want about AI, but when you have an issue, using ChatGPT, using Google Gemini, Copilot, I do that all the time. I have an issue, doing Microsoft project stuff. I take a picture, pop it into Copilot. Hey, can you explain why this is happening this way? Within seconds, I get a full breakdown of what went wrong and what I need to correct. Same thing with a lot of things, doing stuff around my house. I was changing a pump on my hot tub. Same thing, take a picture of it, and ChatGPT's helped me walk through how to properly assess it, figured out what part I needed. So just to say that you can't do something, that's just the cheap way out. Everything is possible if you put the work into it, if you if you learn those skills, if you utilize the technology and the information that is out there, anything is possible. And that's the pro mindset we talk about, right? You can, you will. See you later.